So, despite the fact that it may not be in your face proven, given Square Enix's track record in the past with the games, with censorship and stuff like that, and just the general uh, partnership with Sweet Baby Inc., you can kind of put two and two together. After all, Sweet Baby Inc. has been tanking a lot of game studios, a lot of game companies, because the companies that they work with, they end up losing a lot of money because the games that Sweet Baby Inc. are working on with them don't sell very well. They end up being terrible games, people getting refunds, and of course, it's no problem with Sweet Baby Inc. They're not the ones who are making the game; they're just consultants. So if they tank an entire company, it's no problem to them. They'll just move on to the next one. Um, but they've been getting their grubby hands into everything. So many game companies. Actually, where is it? Yeah, these are all the companies that they work with. And you can see huge names: Xbox Game Studios, EA, Valve, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Co-op, Rocksteady, Compulsion. You got Remedy, you got Wizards of the Coast. So you see all these big names, all these big names. So many of these companies, if you notice recent years, the quality of their games have gone down significantly. And it's all the games that they work on with Sweet Baby Inc. along for the ride. So we're not saying that it's a definitive thing that Sweet Baby Inc. caused it, but you put two and two together, you put together what they do and what they're trying to do, and you look at the games that have come out that have failed, and you're like, yeah, yeah, we're. But former Sweet Baby Inc. client Square Enix takes a $350 million hit in value as stock plummets. Now again, it's Square Enix. Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, several years ago they were doing just fine. Then all of a sudden they start working with Sweet Baby Inc. and down it goes. Down it goes. And that right there should be the proof. Every one of these gaming companies that were great 20, 30 years ago, they start working with someone with like Sweet Baby Inc. and suddenly they're having layoffs. Their stocks plummet. The games are getting worse. So clearly, with so many companies, it's not a coincidence. We know the problem here. Editor's note: this article is intended for informational purposes only. It is not meant to be taken as financial advice regarding Square Enix stocks. Square Enix shareholders received a rude awakening Monday as the video game company behind Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts saw a 10-point dip in the Japanese market. This equates to a market capitalization loss that measures in the hundreds of millions. Um, the drop came in wake of a Square Enix financial report that actually offered some offered good new. Hard Place, I've told you this. Please check your writing every single time. Every single time we do this, there's always some offered good. You mean actually offered some good news? Like, why are you saying offered twice? Does no one spell check? Does no one check for proper punctuation? Does no one reread this? Come on. Again, if you want to be a publisher, a reliable source, you need to do the whole 9 yards. You need to make sure punctuation is fine, spelling is right, that you're not doing simple mistakes like this. I mean, come on. Come on. Every single time. Every single time. Good news to investors. The company saw 136 million in profits over a 6-month period ending in September of 2024. This represents a year-on-year increase of 22%. However, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Several worrisome figures seemingly caused enough unease for the stock to still take a hefty hit. Despite the increase over that 6-month period, operating profits has been on a heavy decline throughout 2024. You don't say. Most notably, Square Enix found itself 27% down in Q3 of 2024. Premium game sales are also down this year, which could have pushed investors to sell. Square Enix started in November with a valuation of 4.68 million. This number was based on the company's outstanding shares and the Square Enix stock price. However, it has lost up to 350 million in value. Square Enix was a notable client of Kim Valera's Sweet Baby Inc. The narrative design company contracts with gaming studios to consult on story elements and often injecting DEI into the narrative. The company appeared prominently on SBI's website, though recently Square Enix vanished from the list entirely. Yeah, I talked about that a while ago. As you can see, this one right here is before. But if you go there now, actually, does it say it? Show it now. Gosh, Riku, I'm so glad you managed to survive that. I was sure she would have kicked your ass. No, but yeah, if you go on the website now, it's their name isn't there anymore, and so we said maybe they're not working together anymore. Maybe Square Enix's pull-out game is actually pretty good, unlike most people, and they pulled out before things got bad. You guys are like, wow, John, that was actually pretty clever. I know, so smart, so clever. I'm the most clever in the room. Of course, I'm the only one in my room. Oh god, freaking this game right here, Forspoken. Such a stupid game, so bad. While there's no definitive list of Sweet Baby Inc.'s influence on Square, many point to censorship actions taken by the company in recent years, like restricting the size of Tifa's chest in Final Fantasy VII as proof of the narrative firm's involvement. I mean, we know Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't like attractive women. We know Tifa had a pretty big rack back in the original, and all the way up until like the remakes, and then suddenly it's like, nope. Not only are you getting a reduced chest, we're also covering you up more. Because we can't have ladies with boobies. Boobies scare us. Here at Sweet Baby Inc., we can tolerate a lot, but what we can't tolerate is boobs. Sweet Baby Inc. Wasn't the only narrative design firm Square worked with. It also contracted Black Girl Gamers to work on noted flop Forspoken. Yeah, that game was terrible. Square Enix's representative director Yosuke Matsuda even admitted that sales for Forspoken were weak back in February 2023. Everything woke turns to shit, as a great man once said. Reviews for Forspoken, which was released January 20. Really? It's only been that long? Feels like it's been out longer than that. Huh. Time flies. Time flies. However, the game has also received positive feedback on its action features, including its parkour and combat capabilities, so it has yielded results that will lead to improvements of our development capabilities of other games in the future. The future. Moving to the game sales, Matsuda noted, that said, its sales have been lackluster, and while the performance of new titles with February and March release dates will be the ultimate determinant, We see considerable downside risk to our FY 2023 earnings. The failure was so extreme that Square closed down Forspoken Studios, Luminous Productions, in February 2023. Hey, I know, I just said that. It seems too many as though it seemed too many as though Square learned the old adage, "Go woke, go broke," the hard way. It saw a 70% decrease in profits following its work with Sweet Baby Inc. and Black Girl Gamers. Soon after, Square announced plans to enhance productivity and shift its focus from quantity to quality, citing a commitment to creating unforgettable experiences like they have been for the last, what, 20 something years. And then all of a sudden, it's all the rage to push as much woke crap in the games as possible. And then the companies who were great back in the heyday start to suffer from it. And they realize, oh, hey, gee, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe we should be focusing on making good games for everyone instead of just for a small group of people. Because that's going to make us money. Another unforgettable experience. Still, though, major releases like Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy Rebirth underperform. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Rebirth and 16. Uh, I think, yeah, I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed with Rebirth. I mean, it looked nice, but I heard, it actually was more kind of a mixed. I heard a lot of people like, oh my God, this is great. And a lot of people were like, no, it's not great. Um, Same thing with 16. Um, but actually, let me know what you thought about 16 and Rebirth. Uh, Kind of test the waters and see. Like I said, a lot of people didn't like it. They said, yeah, it's great that we got like Final Fantasy 7, like the most popular Final Fantasy game of all time, in amazing looking graphics, but there are some parts that were great in the original that just really suffered. Um, so, you know, um, yeah. But yeah, let me know what you thought about Final Fantasy 16 and Rebirth. I would have played them myself, but I only have my computer, and both games I don't think my computer would be doing very well with. So, I mean, the thing cost me like 1,400 bucks, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago. So it can't do some of the newer stuff. So I wanted to play them, but I just didn't have the money or to get a new computer just to play them. So, which I still want to get a new computer to play that kind of stuff. I hate not being able to play new games and having to stick with the older stuff, but you know, part of life. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Rebirth and 16. In the HD games segment, he released multiple new titles, including major titles such as Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. But profits unfortunately did not meet our expectations. Uh, Square Enix president and representative director Takashi Kiru noted back in September. He later detailed, despite the release, Foam Stars and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in Q4 initial sales were not as strong as expected. In addition to which, an impairment was made to the content production account, resulting in the operating loss. Square has stated that going forward, it will focus on a more on broad multi-platform releases rather than console exclusive titles it's produced of late. Though the final installment of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy will still be amid a timed PS5 exclusive. Um, Gosh, Riku, I sure hope the company doesn't go out of business. Otherwise, we'll be out of work. Uh, yeah, I'm not. This is the gaming company after Sweet Baby and gets a hold of them. Dead. And there are the gaming companies, and this represents all the money that they've wasted. And they're just watching it float away, not coming back to them. They're just floating away. It's like, wow, John, those are some, that's really deep. It's really deep there, buddy. And you're hearing me, you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But these companies are just like Aerith and Final Fantasy VII. Dead. Uh, People still can't get over that. Still one of the biggest like shocks in any in video game history when, spoiler alert, Aerith dies. Um, but like I said before, the writing's kind of on the wall here. This is a company that had hit after hit after hit, and all of a sudden they start working with Sweet Baby Inc. and Black Girl Gamers and all these other DEI companies, and suddenly they start tanking. So it's no coincidence, and it's the same for every other company: EA, Ubisoft, Activision, um, BioWare, great game companies that were great in the past, and even if the game sold badly, it wasn't because of like forced DEI or whatever. It's just like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't polished enough. But the games now is like censorship and forced diversity and preaching, and so yeah, it's not hard to read between the lines here. They're plummeting because Sweet Baby Inc. and all these other companies are making them plummet. Because again, if Square Enix went out of business, Sweet Baby Inc. wouldn't care. They would just move on to another company. The only time they would lose the ability to make money is if companies started saying, no, we're not going to hire Sweet Baby Inc. But a big business like Square Enix goes out of business, it's like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. Us at Sweet Baby Inc., we'll just go on to the next company. We'll just go on to the next company. Like, oh, BioWare's closing down? Well, we'll just go to EA. And they'll just keep going and going and going and going. Like a Energizer Bunny that does nothing but corrupt and pollute and bastardize everything you love and care about. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Like I said, let me know if you played Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Rebirth and what you thought of them. I want to see I'm hoping to see a wide array of opinions. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.